Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 269th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we're asking the question, do you think the thumbs up emoji is offensive? So, a lot to process there, but
yes.
Before we dive into the episode, a couple of things to cover. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, but to download it through the Podbean app? If not, please do so immediately. If you have the app, then you can download and you can put in your comments, and we want to hear from you. This is definitely a hot topic. I would not have guessed that this would be a hot topic, but there's been some interesting rhetoric out there in the world of the universe, aka the internet. So make sure you share your thoughts with us, and that way we can see what you think on the topic. Next, on WokeNFree.com, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you cannot download another app like the Podbean app, then if you go to WokeNFree.com, go in the Listen tab, then you can pick your platform of choice where you can follow and subscribe to the show on various places. So we're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world. So there's very few places where you cannot find this show where you can at least follow and subscribe to if you can't download it through the Podbean app. Next, on WokeNFree.com, on the top of the page, you can click subscribe and follow through Podbean, which is also very exciting and very much appreciated. And on social, you can always holler at us and make sure you're following and subscribing and liking and all that good jazz on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, at WokeNFree. And then lastly, if you have 90 seconds, which is really more of a statement rather than a question, we'd love to hear from you through reviews. How's the show feeding into your life? What do you think about it? What are you looking forward to next? So again, where do you do that? Go to WokeNFree.com, go in the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you'd like to review the show at.
Hole in one.
Lovely.
Right. That's what I like to say.
Lovely. Freaky. Yeah.
And before we start the conversation, we like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we're asking, a good one actually, which classic scary series makes the best frightful binge watch? Scream or Halloween?
Oh, that is a really good question because it's a different type of fear that I think is promulgated from either series. So Halloween is classic. When you think of Halloween, Michael Myers, that's like taking it all the way back. And there's a certain level of anticipation and fear and angst that you have watching this big man walk with this mask on, and he never runs but always catches the people he's going after. And it's so menacing and it's so epic. But then with Scream, it's like a modern day type of fear where you're like, wow, like someone really could call you and ask you what your scary movie is, and then try to like kind of put you in this like weird mindset game where you're like, are they playing around with me? And then they jump out of your closet and they stab you 1,000 times. So that's a really interesting question. I would say I have to go old school because I love no one more for a horror character than Michael Myers. I think he's really menacing. And I think the fact that he started the epicness from a child, which is like super creepy and sick. And I don't know if that's fully fictional. I've never really looked into it to that degree. I think
That's for Scream, I think.
Yeah, Wes Craven. But who is
Scream.
the creator of the Halloween series? Oh, man. I should know this
Mustafa Assad?
Yeah, that's one name. But I don't know. When I think of like what makes me shake the most, definitely Michael Myers in the Halloween series. How about you?
So I looked at this from a different point of view because this is talking about the series, right?
Yeah.
So Scream would actually, in terms of scary movies, that would top it. I'd put that like near the top of my list because I watched that multiple times in the theater. Like it was done so well. The first one, the series though, I wouldn't binge watch the series ever. That's the funny thing. I wouldn't
for Scream.
For Scream, yeah. I wouldn't. Okay. I'm only watching Scream 1. I'm not watching any of the other ones ever again.
Oh, interesting. There's elements of the other ones
I don't ever
want
to see those ever again.
That's so interesting.
The only time I'll watch it again is with my son. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to watch any of those again. But Halloween, I'll watch those. I like them. Like I think the series is done well. Some of them are better than others, but
definitely.
I think Halloween as a series, it destroys Scream. Like it's so much better. And I think Scream is one of to me, it's one of the few scary series where I only would want to watch the first one. I think almost every other kind of scary movie that I like, I'd watch the other movies, but Scream didn't do it for me, the other ones.
So Friday the 13th,
I'd watch all of them.
Binge those
I'd watch that, all the Nightmares on Elm Street.
Yeah, those
all the
fantastic.
Final Destinations.
Fantastic, yes.
And all the
Saws as well.
all the Saws I would do.
Yeah.
The only other one is that other, I think, Hostel or something. I don't think I'd only watch Hostel 1. I wouldn't watch any of the other ones.
More gruesome.
Yeah, that's just more just violent. It's not really scary. But yeah, see, every other series I would watch it, but I don't think Scream is a good package.
I really hope that when you watch it with kids,
it's not a great package.
You check it out because there's an element of Scream 2 and Scream 3, Scream 4. I know it's hard because with Scream 5...
Don't say anything about spoilers.
There's a challenging moment
if people haven't seen
for
it.
Those who love it.
Yeah, no spoilers.
There's an actual interesting element in each of them.
That's funny you like it.
Yeah, there really is. I think that's a misstep. Yeah.
So that's all right. So you actually...
I enjoy it. I just finished watching it for this time period, this season of the year. And
look, I know you did last summer, even those. I think those are different.
But you prefer 1 over 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I still think there's an element of enjoyment from both, though. Yeah, because there's a new storyline that's presented in the second one. So.
But I'm thinking about that other one. There was another one of the first movies we saw together.
Oh, The Grudge.
The Grudge. Yeah, I would never watch. I don't know how many grudges they made, but I would never watch that too.
3. Yep.
Yeah, The Grudge I wouldn't watch. Only number 1.
There's an element there in each of them.
So there are some movies that...
but generally, you're not a fan of sequels, though. Yeah, you're not really...
But I would watch a lot of the scary movie sequels, though, I'm saying. Like, in terms of scary movies, I actually are okay with that. You prefer
more the actual, because, like, the Jason Bourne series, I think you would watch that again, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Each of them?
Yeah.
There's a different element.
It's like some series I do like, but Scream is one of the... To me, it's one of the few.
I really like that. That's a shame. Okay.
That's funny. You like them both.
I like it. I think that
you would actually binge watch both.
My preference is always Halloween, but there is definitely something to take from each of them.
I mean, I would think...
Because there's character development along the way. That's
I don't know, but if you looked at the ratings of Halloween, I bet you the series has a higher overall rating than Scream's series.
Oh, yeah, because remember, it's a different audience and different time period, and also Scream is more gruesome.
Yeah.
And so
doesn't Halloween have even more movies in the series, too?
Yes.
Does it have remakes and stuff, and then reimagining?
Halloween 1, 2, 3.
They reimagined.
And then there's 4, 5, 6, and then there's H2O, and then Resurrection, and then the remake 1, 2, and then this newest series of 1, 2, 3. I call that reimagine. So yeah,
because they had the other 2 and 3.
So it's a Halloween universe at this point.
And there's a reason for that, right? There's a reason you only have 4 Screams. There's a reason you only have 4 of them.
Written world. Okay.
So that's me on that. And I almost can feel that I'm a little bit offended by what Scream did with their sequel movies. So as I can be offended by a series being made, do you think thumbs up emoji could be offensive to people?
Nice and sloppy. All right. So
really?
Okay. You tried though.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So not outrightly, I don't believe that it can be offensive just seeing a thumbs up emoji. However, I could understand where it could be offensive, and I myself have used it probably. I wouldn't argue in an offensive manner, but I would argue that in my lifetime, I think most people have been maybe passive aggressive with the thumbs
Wow,
up
you would call it
emoji.
that.
Why?
Okay.
Because what if someone asks you a question and instead of actually writing out an answer, you give a thumbs up emoji, right? That's where you're obviously indicating to the person, especially if they're asking you to answer something and you're just like kind of like, how are you feeling?
And thumbs up. That's a good. That's going to be passive aggressive. That means I'm good.
Oh,
That's
so
a good
I know
answer.
I've used that in a passive aggressive manner, like where I don't want to respond, so I send that.
Because I feel like that's good. So it's different if somebody asks you, "What time are we going to the movies?" Thumbs up.
But see how that can be offensive, though.
That
too?
is offensive.
That
Because
could be
then
offensive
that means I read your message, but I'm not going to answer your
correct.
question.
That's what I'm saying. So that's where
I think that
it's
is the worst thing.
contextual in how it's used. Outrightly, it's not offensive, but contextually, it can be.
All right.
And then also, if someone is asking you to do something, and instead of you confirming that you're going to do it, you could send the thumbs up emoji, like kind of like when moms kind of nag their children. Oh, did you take out the trash? Can you do this? And instead of saying yes, mom, or I will, mom, you send a thumbs up emoji.
So the parents texting their child to take the trash out.
Well, if their child is a teenager, right, is one circumstance.
Yeah,
But then
maybe
also,
that's the thing. I
what
never
if
even thought
the
about
parent
that.
is outside the household and they're like, "Hey, I need you to do this before I come home."
Oh, like that,
right? And then instead of you responding, you send a thumbs up. I don't know. I could see that
I'd be
as
happy
being
about
slightly
that.
offensive.
Don't send words. Send as a faster response.
But what if there's a history of the person sending the thumbs up emoji and not doing the action?
See,
that's where you've created this pattern of like.
But I would hope it not be a thing where if they sent yes, they would do it, and thumbs up means I'm not doing it.
Ding ding ding, and that's where that sometimes
then
happens.
They should have sent a thumbs down then.
Well, that would be outrightly rude. So maybe and depending upon what household they, right? Like depending on who your mama is, you're not going to.
Could they write okie dokie or something? Then?
Would you send that to your mother?
Okie dokie?
Yes.
that at least they know then you're most likely not doing it.
Correct.
Because you don't write that.
Yeah, exactly.
See? Instead of a thumbs up.
Or even some argue like, Roger that, I've seen that, right? Like that's not something you should be sending to people.
Oh, that's funny, but that's a canned response that I use. And not, it's like on my watch I can choose
and when
responses.
Whenever I
doesn't
read
mean
that,
though.
I see it as like being sarcastic. The person.
Oh, that's what you see? Yeah. That's funny.
It's kind of like you're saluting the person and you're really like, okay.
Oh, that's messed up.
It's all interpretation and
depends on the
perception.
person.
But you tend to be snarky as your outright type of response.
I didn't think of it like that. I just like them. I think they're cool.
But you also are like, what's that? Your sense of humor, like deadpan, kind of sarcastic,
British,
and you prefer people who are like kind of not giving you the thumbs up, but like subtly giving you the thumbs up, and you're like. Okay, well.
Because personally, I would not be offended by an emoji.
Okay.
I like it. I mean, good, send that. But now you saying if you're not actually doing the action, then.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, let's see what I would prefer. I wouldn't care either way, though. You're not going to do it. It's just,
it's just pointless.
It could be emoji, it could not. You're not going to do it, so you messed up either way. But I'm not, it's going to see the emoji and say, oh, I see how you're trying to do me. That's really bad. I'm not going to react like that. That's. Just an emoji. Come on. I like emojis,
Oh, I love
when they first came out. I used to always use it.
GIFs? What is it?
You could say it either way, but it's
what's your preference?
I say GIFs because the site, their name is Giphy. It's not Jiffy. So when people say that, they're saying it wrong.
Okay.
Even though some people do call it GIF, I call it GIF because
I love to respond in GIFs. I find that they are awesome and fun and entertaining. So yeah, it's similar.
Once those came out, I went crazy with that. But I used to do the emojis. Then with those, I could
pictorial responses are just more enlightful and enlightening and like
it adds like some
flavor to the day in the conversation.
Yeah, flavor, emotion. You get that rather than just words that it's not as fun. You could send, there's so many things you can do with pictures. Mm-hmm. But why would some folks believe the thumbs up emoji is offensive? How did they get to that point of view?
If you checked out this article, and of course all the links that we mentioned in the episode, you'll be able to find on WokeNFree.com. If you go to Distractify.com, there is the following quote. For younger people, the thumbs up emoji is used to be really passive aggressive. It's super rude if someone just sends you a thumbs up. Additionally, the thumbs up emoji isn't the only emoji that the Gen Z are trying to cancel. Insights agency Prospectus Global conducted a survey of 2,000 people and learned that people between the ages of 16 and 29 were also not keen on a number of other emojis. Here is the list of the top 10 emojis that they want to be retired as they are overused and have not aged well. The thumbs up emoji, of course, sits in first place. Then you have the red heart, the okay hand, check mark or tick, poo.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense.
Loud crying face, monkey covering eyes, clapping hands, lipstick kiss mark, grimacing face.
Oh, I think I know the loud crying face. I like that one. Man, I love some of these ones. The poo one I can understand. Because if I wouldn't want to get that in a text because, that's
odd. I don't know if anyone's ever sent me that, actually.
Yeah, in
what context does someone send you poo?
It's like if instead of using the S word, you send the poo instead. Like, that's complete. And then you can put that.
Oh, it's in...
Or somebody... But I guess you just send that, and that stands for saying
But, what about parents communicating with each other, and they're talking about, if the baby pooed?
They don't use that. I mean, you could. Okay. You could, but I don't think it would be a real
Not
thing.
For that use. Okay.
Yeah, you could do it, but... A lot of those emojis I like, so don't cancel them.
To answer your question, it seems like there may be a generational shift towards how how these are being interpreted, and because I've told you, I've realized just how important perception is in life. And sometimes, as much as folks argue on this is true and this is false, I think we're really arguing on perception of what is one's perception versus another, and not so much as true versus false. And obviously, the younger generation is feeling perceptively that these are passive aggressive and rude.
So the softer generation.
I would not agree to. I would not
agree
you don't
to that classification
at all. And
I
would not urge you to attack the
That's
group
good to be
as
soft.
opposed to attacking the action or the argument, right? As we talk about on WokeNFree.
But you know why I would say that?
It's not about attacking people. It's about attacking the argument.
Only reason I would say that, though, is because this is the generation that they all want to get trophies, even when it's one team
you're
can
mixing
win.
Things, right? You're talking about 5-year-olds versus 29-year-olds. Those are two different generations. So no, that's not, again, that's an attacking and over.
We'd have to do the research. I don't know if that's just 5-year-olds that are going through that.
Well, I know that there's rhetoric around everyone's a winner for little kid baseball, basketball games. That it's not talking about 29-year-olds in the office. That's a totally different
No. Office. I'm talking about in sports though. So if you sign up for a sporting league and you're from a younger generation,
I think you're just overpainting and overarching, and you really substantively, what is the disagreement that you have with it? Is it that because you enjoy it, so you have a personal bias towards wanting to use it?
No, my thing is being offended by everything, because everything's offensive to somebody, right?
Correct, so I can but that's not the argument here. We're talking about the thumbs up emoji. So why do you fundamentally disagree with it being offensive then?
Oh, well, I disagree because it's a symbol, and symbols mean different things to different people. So to say it's offensive is not...
Then couldn't it be perceived as offensive to some people then?
It could be, but that's not a reason to cancel it because it offends some people. Because, like I said, everybody can find offense in something.
I think that you can always go to that argument for everything. Could be to everyone.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to do it. Is that the only
justification that why you don't?
No, that's the one justification for not going with it, because just because it's offensive to 10 people, the 5 million that use it, it's not. Well, I think it's a majority.
So you read sarcastic, 10 people, Khalil.
Yeah, but I think the majority. Well, look, they surveyed 2,000 people, and
that was in regards to the other
30%
10. That
of
was
people.
In regards to the other 10 emojis, but
separately. But either way, it said number one was thumbs up though for what they wanted to cancel
in that survey. Yes, but that's.
But that was
we're not going through all the stats of all the folks that have been surveyed to address this. This is one article, one agency.
Because I hate the cancellation of these things.
I know we've talked about cancel culture and the challenge.
I'm against cancel culture, so that's the thing. I want people to learn.
But is the fundamentals of your stance is that the basis
I understand.
Of it?
So you know what I would and another thing I think is that how many people has this caused harm to, actual harm, and
it depends on how you're validating harm.
Not emotional harm, but actual physical harm.
But that's how can communication in and of itself is not only assessed on physical harm. It's also assessed on emotional harm.
There's stuff that causes people to commit suicide. So see, thumbs up doesn't do that.
Well, A, you'd have to do your research on that, and B, to argue that physical harm and emotional harm are not both substantive types of harm, which sounds like what you were doing.
I'm not saying so. I'm saying one trumps the other tenfold
according
times.
to you.
Well, on the law,
according to you. But I mean, I think
that
at the
physical
end of the day,
harm is always at the top of the list.
People still have emotional damages that they can
things.
bring against for verbal communications and verbal issues. So I don't know.
I mean,
I don't want to go down that road of
country where
emotional
you do that.
versus physical, and one is more important than the other. At the end of the day, then substantively, you think the thumbs up emoji outrightly cannot be objectively defined as offensive because it is not causing physical or emotional harm. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I know it's not causing physical harm, and
well, you'd have to do
the emotional harm that it could be causing is like, okay, I mean, the emoji, maybe no emoji should exist, right? Someone could say all the emojis cause harm.
Dramatic that is.
But I'm just saying it. Of course, somebody could be offended by it. Just because someone's using it in that fashion doesn't mean the thing itself is of the issue. That means the person is at issue. You need to talk to that person.
No, that means their perception is at issue, not the person.
No, but, well, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying, it's the perception of the person, though. You're blaming like an object for the action of a person. But this object is just an object on its own, and it stands, and the original meaning of it, it literally means okay, good. It's a positive thing. So for you to take this as negative is that it's like that's being used in a different way. That doesn't mean the item needs to be eliminated because certain things are used. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess people have the guns argument too, right? But I don't think it's that extreme. It's not like a gun. But I'm just saying, people say people kill people. Gun doesn't kill people.
Do not do anything.
Yeah.
It's the person holding the gun.
Yeah,
that
but I mean
harm.
that's not the best comparison. I'm just saying.
Well, it's a very extreme.
Yeah, you know how like there's items and people will misuse the item.
Absolutely.
Do we get rid of that item? And to me, I'm always against that always go to. So it's kind of, but I understand some items you don't need. Like we don't need to have a rocket launcher, right? Why do you have that? There's no.
I mean, you
good
can
use
argue
of
either way for that.
Yeah, but that's extreme. You don't need something so
but
extreme.
in and of itself,
or
again, the rocket launcher.
Or even what if you have? What if there was a
anyone.
racist emoji? You don't need that. Because that promotes racism.
Well, some would argue in support of that versus
you don't need it though. You literally don't need it.
But again,
you may
need
want it.
is validation through whatever lens is whoever's assessing it. So I think that's a challenging way to whether it causes harm. I think that you can go through those deductions, but
no
needs analysis is hard because then you can extrapolate that most things are not needed in life, right?
So
again, that's how relevant of a
you need something to try to cause emotional harm to somebody. That's why you don't need it. That's not a need. A racist emoji is not.
Like I said, I don't like looking at through lens of needs because most things in the human existence is not a need; it's a want.
Exactly.
So thus, I don't think it's an effective argument. Because that applies to everything. So
you're saying we don't need emojis?
You are now listening to
WokeNFree. WokeNFree.
WokeNFree.
WokeNFree.
A podcast that keeps it real and honest.
No.
I disagree with that because sometimes there's a language barrier. Well, but sometimes it's an easier way to communicate when there's a language barrier. So that's why an emoji is a necessity.
If the party can understand the emoji as well.
Thumbs up is universal, I think.
I'd have to do research.
There's some things that aren't though. There are some other hand signals aren't, but the
like
thumbs up
the poo one, right? Like
yeah, and that's universal too. Everybody knows what poo looks like. I mean, if you don't, then you
don't make.
Then you revealed yourself. You revealed who you are
as an alien.
Yes,
what are you suggesting?
Of course, because only an alien wouldn't know what poo is.
Moving on. Should people stop using the thumbs up emoji?
I mean, I think in light of this, people need to use it a lot more now. That's the best response to people trying to say there's an issue with it. It's just you know what I saw though? I mean, I got to bring this up is that doesn't matter. I mean, I didn't know this was a thing, but it doesn't matter the color of the response of the thumbs up because technically you can do thumbs up in the default yellow, or you can choose a skin tone.
Yeah.
But is there I didn't look it up, but I wonder do people take it a different reason? So they're like, if you send me the default thumbs up, that's you trying to be sarcastic. But if you send me in your color, that means you're actually saying good or okay. Or
I think there's an argument that could be made for that. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think that's funny to say just the level of detail you pay to it.
I actively try to use a thumbs up in a skin tone that matches my own. And I find that now that I do that, if I do it in yellow, I do feel a certain kind of way about that. Like, ooh, like I think about if the person is going to interpret that differently, or especially if you have history of using it in your skin tone and then all of a sudden you say a yellow one, it might, I don't know, it can be interpreted as like, what is this person trying to communicate?
So that's too funny.
So things to consider.
But I will also say that, well, just still on that is that sometimes you don't have the choice. Like there's still apps that you can't use your skin tone thumbs. So that can be an issue as well. So that's something to think about. But in terms of stopping the use of emoji, you know what you should do instead is maybe, well, I guess it's on the party that sends it, is they can send a more detailed response if that's needed. So if it was just an answer where you need to say okay or not, they can send the thumbs up and that's okay. But if you needed a time or more details, they could send a detail. Or if you felt a certain way, you could be like, hey, you okay? Or, you can question, you can question the thumbs up too, just to make sure everything's good. Because some people might send it out of spite, but either way, you shouldn't stop using it. You should just use it in whatever way you want. I don't even think you should be restricted. You can use it in your offensive way or that's up to the person sending it. And I don't think people should take that right away from somebody. I feel like that's the restricting of freedom of speech.
Well, you feel like it's censorship, right?
Yeah, I feel like they're censoring them to say, hey, you can't use that anymore because you use it too much. I just wish that everything offered a thumbs down as well to go with that. Because then people can use the thumbs down when they disagree with things instead of just the thumbs up.
So, for me, how I approach this is I would say, first and foremost, nothing in life is one size fits all. There's not going to be generally one equally sentiment that every human on this planet is going to agree to. And if you know for a fact that the person you're communicating to is not a fan of emojis, then I would say anytime you actively and knowingly use an emoji with that person, you are going to open yourself up to being to offending whoever you're communicating to. Because if they've made it a point to say, "Oh my gosh, I don't like emojis," and you
you think those type of people exist where they say they don't like emojis?
There are people that will give you parameters as to what they like and what they do not like.
In terms of just
in
communicating with them.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking in a professional setting because I understand.
But I'm not excluding that. Personal and professional.
I understand.
Absolutely,
and I guess there's some like progressive professionals where you could just communicate as nonchalantly as you want, but you're saying in a non-professional manner, there's people that say, please do not send me emojis.
No, they would not say that, but what they would say is when they're talking, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't stand emojis. So they make a declaration, right? And it is up to you to kind of put that into your memory bank and then say, hey, in the future, when I'm talking to this person, do I want to offend them or not? It is up to you. There's some people who are going to do what they need to do, how they want to do it.
Some people are going to live their best life.
And they will offend,
Hot
right?
man
and
summer.
then it's going to, I don't know what that is. They're going to do what they're going to do, how they want to do it. So there's one scenario there. And I would ask folks listening to think about that. Like, again, what is your intention when you're communicating? Do you want to knowingly upset people or do you want to get your message heard and received in a way that is hopefully less offensive? Because yes, to earlier points in the episode, it is quite easy to offend someone for very little. Like, it takes very little to offend. So when you know you cannot be offensive, I would urge people to not be offensive. And another opportunity is, like, if the person does not declare that to you, and you happen to use emojis with them, and they never make a point to tell you if they down the road find it offensive, then you have free pass, because no one is a mind reader, and if you have a right to use your different communication tools as you see fit, up and until someone makes it apparent to you that, hey, you're pissing them off. And then you have to decide if you're going to orient different or if you're just, balls to the wall and you're going to do how you need to do it. So that's where I sit on that. I recommend, similar to you, that we do not stop using it and that, maybe we have more thoughtful, intentional conversations with the generation that maybe is finding this to be more offensive than others. And maybe they could, the folks who are part of this community who happen to find this offensive, maybe there is a meeting of the minds that could be had. But outrightly, I agree with you. Just taking it off the table seems like censorship, and it seems like, I don't want to say an overreaction, but I would say it seems like there's a missed opportunity for understanding.
Who knew that this would be a topic of conversation, though?
It blew my mind when I saw it on the internet. I said, we have to talk about it because this blew my mind. I said, wow, we're hitting different parts of the universe.
Thumbs up emoji of all the emojis that
I know,
exist.
The poo one might be offensive.
That's what I was saying. Or
even the monkey hands, or covered, whatever.
Oh, boy. I mean,
that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I don't know what that's
all about. And I don't
even
know what that one means, really. I don't know.
They do when hear no evil, see no evil.
Oh, okay. But speak no evil. Do they have all three monkeys? Or
they have all three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can have all three of them. I've used them before. I've sent them to you.
But
it's really hard to send it
to send that like to
No.
anyone, or is it offensive if you send it to a certain community of people? If you get my drift, like I don't know where
It
people
depends
could
who
be.
it's coming from, though. That too.
Mm.
If it's coming from someone who's been known to do harm towards the community, and then they said that,
And which
then maybe it is
Black community, or
I guess any community. I don't know, any community of minorities, maybe,
Okay.
or whoever can see that as offensive. But,
okay,
I mean, yeah, that one. I don't know. That's a whole other topic.
it's a whole other different thing.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Nalgakar made it through 5 rounds of interviewing for a Fortune 500 company for a tech job. He just found out he is not being considered for the position anymore. He sent a text to his friend, who replied with a thumbs up emoji. Was this the appropriate response?
Oh, wow. So contextually, I'd be curious to understand what the text to the friend was. Was the text, hey, I didn't get the job, or, oh man, I didn't get the job, that sucks, right? Because if we're in the first box of just a communication dump, then a thumbs up in that response, I mean, is it the most considerate of a response? No, but at least there's no emotion attached. But if someone sends a message to you and says, oh man, I didn't get the job, and you send the thumbs up emoji, it seems a little bit inconsiderate. And it seems...
See, this is why I can't get rid of this emoji. See how much emotion it brings, even for situations like this.
And so it seems like there's a little bit more conversation that's needed than a thumbs up emoji. I'm sorry, that's not funny.
Yes. But you know that's a messed up thing. Then it's so messed up that it becomes funny. It becomes comical in nature. It's like, this can't be real.
I'm just imagining people in the sphere of the world that I've known that would behave that way. And it's just on par for like, maybe you should call the person, or maybe you should say, oh man, right, like, want to talk about it, but it just seems inconsiderate, like, to just respond that way. But what do you think?
I think this is definitely not the appropriate response. I mean, this is straight grime, I would call this. Like, that's you do not pass go, you do not collect 200, you go straight to jail, because that is messed up. You go to emoji jail. Your emojis are banned for 2 hours.
Jail. That's what we should have called this episode. Do you want to go to emoji jail?
Yeah, because I think some people have to be banned from using emojis for at least an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr.
It's a long time.
Censorship.
No, but I'm not censoring you. I'm just punishing you for an hour. You can't do an hour without emojis.
Incentives, not punitive behavior treatment. That's what we need to do.
Man, how did you incentivize this person? They just pooed on their friend. Emoji pooed on their friend. That's what they just did, right?
Oh my goodness.
The only thing I could say is that maybe they're into, I don't know, like hurting each other through text. So if that's what they're into, then maybe it is appropriate. But for most people, this would be offensive, and it's probably what wasn't needed. A normal person would ask, well, I guess there's 2 ways you can respond. You would ask, oh man, how are you feeling? Or, that kind of thing. Instead of just jumping, because you might not even say, hey, that sucks that happened. They might be like, yeah, I didn't want to actually get it. So probably you'd want to find out how they're feeling.
More info, yeah.
And instead of just saying like that thumbs up, because it can mean a lot of stuff there. Like that's not the best response. Scenario 2. Jo Ellen was excited to hear about her sister's recent engagement. She is very close with her sister, and they text each other multiple times every day. She's deciding if she should send her 1 thumbs up emoji or 50 to demonstrate her excitement. What should she do?
Wow, that's a really interesting consideration for the day. I would probably say neither and go with a GIF, but I guess if you want to be ultra excited, probably 50 emojis, a thumbs up would be demonstrating more excitement than 1, because 1 again could seem like, well, I don't really care, I was eating a burrito. Like, get out of my face.
You had to be busy
type of vibe. Versus 50 is like, this person obviously has not a lot of things to do during this moment of their day, and so took the time to spend the 7 minutes doing that. So that's real commitment to their relationship. Yeah, that's my thought. How about
so you said so they should just send
They should do a GIF, but if they don't want to do a GIF, then do 50. If you want to really share your excitement,
right.
50 is more meaningful than 1.
Okay,
Especially
so you are
if you're
okay with
close
the
to this
50
person.
then? All right.
I mean, I don't think that that's the best use of time or communication style, but
Oh, really? All right.
everyone's got to do what they got to do how they want to do it. So
It takes less time for her to send the 50 than calling her, though. That's why she's thinking about doing that.
Oh, yeah.
She's trying to save time, because if she called her, it's going to be the whole thing.
If they talk every day, then aren't you about to talk anyway? So might as well call her.
They text every day.
Oh.
They don't call and talk.
There you go. Well,
They're just texting, so they know what each other's doing, like every hour,
sometimes
basically.
It's just nice to hear people's voice, but I get it. Everyone's so busy.
You know, different generations people are different.
God forbid. You actually have a deeper bond than a text message.
Wow, so, you bringing up some stuff that some people would be upset with that you can't bond over text now.
Oh, God, no, I'm not saying you can't bond over text, but what I'm saying is, especially when you're talking to someone who has a nice-sounding voice, it's nice to hear that voice as opposed to just seeing a text that, in theory, could have been sent by AI.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's sometimes it's hard to know.
Could be a canned response.
The person you're speaking to. I mean, what if, because now our phones actually predict messages.
Yeah.
So, like, now you don't even bloody well have to think. I mean, it's like...
The phone will give the response that's appropriate.
Versus, sometimes it's really nice to just hop on a phone, but I get it. People are busy. It is what it is. It's just, you kind of miss the humanness of a person if you never hear from them.
True.
Through their voice, yeah.
Yeah, I could see your point. But in this situation, definitely send the 50.
Pleasant.
Because that's how you really show out. You show nobody else could beat you in the excitement there. No one else is going to send her 50 thumbs up emoji.
Imagine how many she'll send when she has a daughter or a son.
Probably
108.
Yeah, she's going to try to crash her phone.
Excellent. Good use of time again.
Yep, send as many as possible. No, but that doesn't do the exciting things, though. You can call her, but anybody can make a call. Can anybody crash your text app? Not everybody can do that. So that's something to think about. That's something to think about. You gotta do things big now, and then you can also do like a video of it on your favorite social media platform and say, "Look what I did to my sister's phone." You can go viral from that because it'll go teach them how to do these new things and techniques. People are interested in different stuff like that. So
and maybe she doing
that's
it
what this age is all
standing on
about.
her head upside down.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to take the cake, and she can do it while she's solving algebraic equations.
Maybe why not?
I mean, just add all the stuff you would do. Or while she's painting a Van Gogh, I don't know. Just add everything you think will make it popular. Scenario 3. Chrysanthemum sent 2 pictures of herself to her girlfriend to help decide what she should wear when they meet up. One picture was Chrysanthemum in a pinstripe bodycon dress, and the other was her in a leopard romper. Her girlfriend sent back a thumbs up emoji. Which dress should Chrysanthemum wear when they meet up?
So that's where I wouldn't necessarily say that there's an offense that could be had here, but there's a lack of ambiguity because the response is not clear as to if there's an actual question being asked and the response is a thumbs up, it feels as if there's like a lack of effort or communication that could have been sent there, because the proper response would have been romper or bodycon, right? Like you would identify which item. You wouldn't just say that the thumbs up seems to me, I would interpret that as like, you're a grown up, pick your own outfit. Like, and that's not, and maybe that's an overreaction. Nice. I'm not quite sure, but that to me, it doesn't seem like the person's paying you any attention when they're sending you a thumbs up in that type of context. I would say a better response, especially if this is your friend, is to actually answer the question.
That's what you prefer?
Say, get out. And you?
Well, which dress should she wear then?
Exactly. There's no clarity in that response. I don't know. Thank you for
wearing... So you don't know then?
I think she's applauding her for wearing clothing, period. I mean, it's not quite clear.
Alright, so you think she should go with no clothes?
I'm not going to suggest that because that might violate rules or regulations for where they live
don't
in
get
this
arrested.
Fantasy world, yeah.
Okay.
So...
this fantasy world called Earth. Yes. Yes.
Planet...
Yeah, spoiler alert. All the scenarios take place in Earth.
On Earth and not in it.
In it. Inside of it. Inside the hot core. That's how this goes.
But, yeah, I would recommend... I'm actually interested in this leopard romper situation.
So she should wear the leopard romper then.
Yeah, I'm personally really interested in that.
Okay.
Some pinstripes don't work well with everyone. And as a bodycon, then, you got to make sure you got to have that. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend that you have some nice, good shapewear underneath it if you really want to create the good lines and all that good stuff. But it depends on your style and your flow. But I'm really fascinated by this leopard romper. That's my recommendation.
Leopard romper, since he doesn't know what that means.
Not knowing body type and not knowing style and also the weather, how cold or, all that. There's a lot of misinformation.
But to you, the thumbs up emoji means it's your choice. So she can wear anything.
The thumbs up emoji to me suggests,
in this scenario,
I don't care.
Oh, so even
that's
worse.
How I would interpret that
because
that's not an answer. That's just a pictorial response. Oh. She could have also sent her a picture of sunlight. I mean, it's not like or a picture.
She could have the emoji sun.
Yeah, or she could have sent her a picture of her toes. I mean, I don't know what that is. Someone's asking you a question. Answer the question.
I like the moon emoji because it has like this little a smirk on its face and it's looking really mischievous.
And it's like, what would that mean? How do I interpret this? Right? Like it's
I don't know what it means, but it's kind of funny.
I don't know what you're trying to communicate to me.
Yeah, some of the emojis they're very odd. So it's great to try to figure out how to use them.
Answer people's questions. You can only
so if she sent the leopard emoji, then that would have been nice.
That would at least have indicated she's more interested in the leopard.
She actually had to find that emoji.
Correct.
And be like, where is this thing? Okay.
Or at least say romper, like something. I mean,
so communicate which one.
Answer the question.
Thinks.
It's really rude not to answer a question.
All right. And what I would think if I saw this thumbs up emoji after asking a question like this is I would think it means it's your choice. They both look great. So I think, she should probably do the leopard romper because that would be fun. So I wouldn't take I don't think it's offensive. I just think she's like, wow, you have great style and fashion choice.
I would be irritated
if someone
did that to me.
Really? You wouldn't take it as it's your choice?
This is you take it as offensive. Friend, and you can't type one word?
We don't know if she's been pre-gaming or what, or,
So then say that, busy, hit you later. Something.
But she wants her to know you make the best choices. Go and
do also, some folks have the ability to where you can send voicemails, right? Like, she could have recorded her voice. And
folk has that.
Yeah, okay,
all folks, I guess.
So she could have just said, romper girl, and then she could have sent that too. Like, if you were incapable. But then what,
she said a lot of other stuff after that she would regret saying.
I mean, you've got to have control over your body and your voice. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
it's hard. Because when the liquor in your system,
This is during the daylight?
No, they're meeting up later. This is the whole implication.
But you're suggesting she's having an alcoholic situation?
Yeah, before they meet up. People pregame all the time. They're about to go out and hit the town, like party.
Listen, I'm not young and fun anymore, so...
Are you that far removed that you forgot about the pregame?
I am not that young and fun anymore.
They're like, what are they doing? Should they be knitting their sweaters?
I know. Aren't you reading the Bible?
Nice. What would they be doing on a Friday night?
I know.
How do they spend their Friday nights?
Write a blog post.
Yep, they're meeting up for Bible study. Exactly. That's why she wanted to get the leopard romper out. Yep.
God.
Said this would be perfect for that.
Listen, she'll look fly as hell.
At the Bible study, yeah, nice.
Get it, girl.
I wonder what that Bible study is really about.
What that Bible do?
Yeah, we'll see what kind of Bible studying this is.
I don't know what you're insinuating, but...
I'm not insinuating an eyes wide shut moment.
These are weird suggestions.
It's not an eyes wide shut moment, that's all I know.
Stop it.
That's all I'm saying about that.
Okay, well, thankfully we're at that time again.
Yeah, maybe.
And so coming to the end of our 269th episode of
WokeNFree.
A lot of problems there. Quite the episode asking the question, do you think the thumbs up emoji is offensive? Khalil, what do folks need to do now?
Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, we're definitely open to hearing out folks and their stories for 2023. Hit us up on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. On social, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And all sponsorship and collaboration ideas, again, hit us up on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.